If that is the case, the Peace and Reconciliation team will assist you in making that change. Let's recap the steps so far. First, we slow the disease process in the congregation. Second, we learn about the real nature of congregational conflict. Third, we begin to change the culture of congregational conflict. We are at step 3 at this moment. Then what? Well, fourth, we take steps to unstick the system. That will begin with the adoption of the PAR statements and living together according to those statements. It may be that some participants in the life of the congregation will not return or will need to go elsewhere. That may be true of some staff as well. If your conflict is at a level 4 or a level 5 on the Speedley's scale, it is unlikely that you can get unstuck without some change in the membership of the system. While that may make us sad, it may well be necessary. We can also take some steps to do things differently. And here are some suggestions. First, let's move from non-action to action. The hallmark of a stuck system is doing nothing. I love the VeggieTales movie, The Pirates Who Don't Do Anything at All. The title of the movie is quite descriptive. However, you have to watch the movie to see why they don't do anything at all. They are afraid. They are afraid they'll get hurt. They're afraid they'll make a mistake. They're afraid they won't be up to the task, and so they do nothing at all. And that's true of most stuck systems. Sometimes doing nothing has wisdom, provided the decided inaction is thoughtful and considered and based on an analysis of the situation, but leaders who do nothing are usually avoiding conflict. They're usually afraid of something. Doing nothing generally results in the conflict escalating, and it sets a tone of inaction and no change for the organization. And friends, let me tell you something. The only organizations that don't change are dead. So let's figure out some constructive actions to take in the short run that will benefit the life and mission of the congregation. Let's have some mission experiments and then see how they go. I'll work with your partners on the team and your leaders to develop some ideas. Now second, let's move from orbiting to landing. Another mark of a stuck system is sometimes called orbiting. This is the behavior that never resolves anything. Issues always recur, no matter what has been done in the past. Orbiting means that the problem is acknowledged, but no real action is taken. To put the brakes on orbiting and to land requires courage on the part of leaders. Some landings end in a crash, after all. It may be necessary to say, we've addressed that and we're not going to orbit around that issue anymore, period. End of conversation. A system that can't stop orbiting around some issues either needs different leaders or the system should die. Common orbiting behaviors include collecting more data, documenting performance, canceling meetings, and the like. But the most common orbiting behavior in congregations is simply withdrawing from the congregation until the current problem has departed. Often certain members will go elsewhere only to return when a certain pastor or other member leaves. Please recognize that behavior for what it is. It's orbiting. If we see those behaviors, let's name them for what they are. Let's avoid those behaviors and land together in a new world of mission values. A third, let's move from hiding conflict to acknowledging it. A third common means of avoiding or repressing conflict is to hide it. The notion is that if nobody knows the problem, then the conflict is minimized. Sometimes Christians talk about love covering a multitude of sins, but that's a misuse of Scripture at this point. By being secretive, conflict and confrontation is just delayed. And when it does surface again, it's much worse, has many more negative emotions attached. Let us abandon a culture of secrecy and non-disclosure. We have problems, we have disagreements, we have conflicts. Let's acknowledge them. And fourth, let's move from rule creation to permission giving. Rule-mindedness is the fourth common and tragic mistake in dysfunctional systems. Leaders who mistakenly think that they can order people to be nice use this strategy. Regulations, sermons, power collusion in meetings. The person who uses the approach that leans on people to intimidate them. Those are all rule creation behaviors. It doesn't make the conflicts go away, it just sends them scuttling underground where the conflict can grow.